Physio, and I wanted to jump on today and just sort of give you a demonstration of what the circuit training might look like. I know yesterday when I posted on Facebook, I just sort of threw it out to the world going, hey, who might be interested in circuit training? And lots of people were suddenly interested, which is amazing. So what I wanted to show you today is an example of how the circuit training might look. So every week you're going to get a new circuit to work on with your dog. We're going to try and use minimal equipment. I don't want to have too much equipment and overwhelm people. And I want you to start to learn how to pair things together and create a circuit of 3 to 5 different exercises that you can do with your dog that's going to properly condition the whole dog. So it's not like in these circuits we're focusing necessarily on front end or hind end or core. We're utilizing the whole dog's body to maximize the benefits with as little equipment as possible, but really to try and maximize the impact of what we're getting out of it. So this is sort of a sample circuit. Every week you're going to get a new circuit, and there is the opportunity for feedback with this as well. So there's going to be sort of 2 price points. One price point will include feedback, one will not include feedback. I know some people, feedback is not as important to them and they just want to sort of take the circuit and go do, and there's other people that are really looking for that. So we'll have 2 different options for everybody. This program will run for 6 weeks, and then we'll sort of reevaluate at the end of the 6 weeks whether we'll be continuing on with the circuit training or doing something a little bit different. So here's an example of something that you can do. This is my boy 50, he's 3, soon to be 4. And we're just going to go through a circuit here with you. So all you need right now for this circuit is a plank or an aerobic step. You need something unstable at one end and something unstable at the other end. It doesn't matter what it is. You could have a mini bone here, you could have a round disc, you could have a canine ramp, you could have the canine bone. You can also get creative and switch it up each time. So it's not like you have to have one or the other. Just sort of switch it up. You can also have balance foam pads at either end if the dog is just sort of learning this. So you can get creative and sort of throw anything at the end, but the core thing in the middle is going to be this plank. Okay, let's get started. Now we can move forward with the circuit for today. Remember that whenever you start any sort of circuit training or conditioning exercises with your dog, you want to make sure that you properly warm them up. So don't go in here with cold feet. Make sure you've warmed them up for a good 5 to 10 minutes. The first part of this exercise is they're just going to be walking nice and slow across the equipment and tossing a treat. And you just have them go nice and slow back and forth. We're looking for control. We're looking to make sure that they're comfortable on the equipment. If your dog is unsure ever about a piece, you might not want to put that in that circuit. You might want to just work it independently until they're nice and comfortable. And you're just going to have the dog here go back and forth. Good boy, Fiddy. Good boy. Back and forth. Once you've done about 10 passes, then we can actually start to slow things down and ask for some static positioning. So I'm going to have him put his paws up. Good boy. Good dog. Come across the plank. Just maintain position. Paws up. Good boy. We're always looking for nice, slow, and control. Slow and conditioning is the new fast. Toss straight, and then come back. Paws up. Good boy. Come across. Good. Paws up. Good boy. Good job, kid. And break. And you're just going to go back 10 times. Going nice and slow across the equipment. Good boy. Yes, that's a good guy. Good job, kid. Good boy. Great. Perfect. Whoops. So there, I started to move back too quick, so he just started to follow me, and that's why he didn't get his front paws on that. So in those sorts of situations, I just tend to toss the cookie. I reset. I might change my positioning. Paws up. Good boy. To make sure that happens. We can really influence, guys, what our dogs do with our body. So if we back up, they tend to come into us. If we apply pressure into them, they tend to go back. So just realize that our body can affect what the dogs do. Once we get through 10 repetitions of going slowly back and forth, you're going to have them put their front paws up on this first piece of equipment here, and you're going to ask for a sit. Good boy. And stand. Good job. Sit. Good. Stand. Good boy. And sit. Good. And stand. So this is a tuck sit. He's bringing his rear feet in. There we go. And then we're asking for that kick back stand. Always making sure that the dogs are nice and balanced. when they're doing this, I don't want too much of their feet staggered. I'd like them to be as even as possible. I don't get too picky when we're first starting to do this, if the dog especially is just learning, but that's always what we're striving for, is these nice balanced positions. Stand. Good boy. And if you don't like something and their feet are really staggered, I just toss a treat. We can reset, have them come back up. Fitty. Good boy, paws up. Good boy, and sit. Well done. Good boy, stand. Good job. So you're going to do 10 sit to stands, okay? Then you're going to have him come onto the bench, and now we're going to ask for tight turns on this plank. So I'm going to have him go left. Good boy, and they should come back nice and balanced. Make sure you're not rewarding as they're turning. You're rewarding when they come back nice and straight. Left. Good boy. The goal is to keep all the feet on the plank when you're doing this. Left. Good boy. Well done. If your dog happens to be sliding off, then what I do is I tend to work 180-degree turns before the 360. So I'd have them just turn here, I'd reward, and then have them turn back and reward. So you have to sort of work to your dog's level at this point. Let's go to the right. Good boy. Well done. And right. Good boy. And right. So you're going to do 10 turns in each direction. Once you're done with your turns, then you're going to come and have your dog's front feet on this bone, and you're going to ask for a drop. Lie down. Good boy. And up. We're looking for minimal foot movement when they're doing the stand to down, down to stand. Drop. I'm going to lure down on that 45-degree angle and lure back up. The luring just helps to really create that fold down, guys. Drop. Good boy. Stand. Good boy. Drop. Good dog. Stand. Good boy. So it's okay if there's a little bit of foot movement, but I don't want their feet moving all over the place. So if we just go into a down like this, see how he moved his front feet forward? It's hard to shift back and get that fold down if we're really drawing them forward with our reward. That's why we must draw back, good boy, and stand in order to make sure those feet don't come forward or hang over the edge of the equipment that we're using. So you want to make sure you get 10 of those in. Good boy. Okay, once you've completed 10 of those, now what we're going to do is we're going to do side passing with front feet elevated. So we're going to have, I'm just going to move this a little bit closer. He's not the same size as an Aussie. So we're going to have front paws up, and we're going to work, good boy, on some lateral stepping down. Good boy. Oftentimes when we do these lateral steps, guys, you'll find that their front feet move before their rear feet. That's okay. That's just a learning thing. Dogs will get that step. Yes, good boy. All the way. Good boy. And now we step back. Yes, good boy. Step. Now, 50's done this before, so that's why I'm sort of standing in front of him like this. If your dog is just beginning with side steps, I'll show you an alternative once we get to the end. Good boy. All the way down. But you see how his front feet tend to go first versus his back feet. So if your dog is struggling a little bit with a side step, I will actually straddle the plank. Now he's going a little bit too fast, so I'm just going to bring him back. Paws up. Good. Up. Paws up. Good boy. So he's really fishtailing out with that rear end, which I don't want. So I will often put my hand just right here and help guide him down. Good boy. That better. Good boy. Well done. Good boy. Step. Yes. Good step. So that hand just really helps to control the hip from swinging out. Good boy. Step. Step. Good boy. And step. Well done. Step. Notice my reward placement, guys. It's up and back, okay? When we're sidestepping along, let's get that cookie. When we're sidestepping along, if I'm pulling the treat forward, then I know they're not weight shifting to the hind end. So you want to make sure when you reward the sidestepping that you're going back and into the dog and not pulling them too far forward. Because if we're trying to get them to feel their feet in the back and trying to get them to nicely sidestep, if we're pulling them too far forward, they're going to be coming off their back feet and they don't have as much sensation and they're not going to be able to know where their feet are as well versus if we keep that reward nice and back. So we're going to do 10 passes down, 10 passes back. Just do one more here for you. Step. Good boy. And step. Well done. Good boy. Step. Yes. Good boy. Step. Good. Step. Come on. You can do it. And if they start to get a little bit slow or they're not moving, then I will just straddle the bench and give a little bit of pressure just to help kind of keep them along. So that is the circuit for you guys for today. I want you guys to give this a try this weekend. Let me know how your dogs do with it. So let's just kind of recap and summarize what it is. So first, you're going to have the dogs walk back and forth, nice and slow with control, making sure that they're really comfortable. The second part is you're going to front foot target each piece as you go along. So front foot target the first piece of equipment, then the actual plank, then the second piece, and then you're going to go back and forth 10 times. Then we're going to have the sit to stand. So their front feet are going to be elevated on this first piece of equipment. You're asking for a tuck sit and a kick back stand. You're going to do that 10 times. Then they're going to come onto the plank. You're going to have 10 turns to the left, 10 turns to the right. Then you're going to restart and have them side step with their front feet elevated all the way down, okay? Sometimes you have to reposition the equipment to be a little bit closer. We don't need them taking ginormous steps. So just position it a little bit closer based on the size of your dog. So what you want to do is you want to do this 10 times each exercise. Good boy. 10 times each exercise. You're going to take a 1-minute break, let them have some water. Then you're going to go back and repeat this circuit 2 more times. That's a total of 3 sets. Okay? So give this workout from home. Let me know what you guys think about it. And happy training.